Welcome to Friends in Fiction, 5 best-selling authors, endless stories. Novelists Mary Kay Andrews, Kristen Harmel, Christy Woodson Harvey, Patty Callahan Henry, and Mary Alice Monroe are 5 longtime friends with more than 80 published books to their credit. In 2020, they created Friends in Fiction to provide author interviews and fascinating insider talk about publishing and writing, and to highlight independent bookstores. These friends discuss the books they've written, the books they're reading now, and the art of storytelling. If you love books and you're curious about the writing world, you're in the right place.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to our special Sunday bonus episode of Friends in Fiction. I'm Mary Kay Andrews, and today, to help us celebrate Mother's Day, the sisterhood of Friends in Fiction is happy to be joined by the Satellite Sisters, the real-life Dolan sisters behind the phenomenally successful Satellite Sisters podcast.
Satellite Sisters is a weekly podcast produced by Mudbath Productions and distributed by Wondery. It is an award-winning and super fun pep talk for modern women, hosted by Leanne Dolan, Liz Dolan, and Julie Dolan, real sisters with very different lives. Satellite Sisters informs listeners' daily lives with entertaining conversation, smart advice, positive support, and for me, loads of laughs. Starting out as a weekly syndicated public radio show, Satellite Sisters in 2007 became a pioneering podcast, one of the first for women. Now in its 20th year, Satellite Sisters, we're on our first year. They are in their 20th year. It remains an upbeat, female-forward spot in the media landscape. As the oldest of 3 sisters, 2 of which might be a bit pesky, I still can't believe that these ladies have managed 20 years of working together. My sister and I love each other, and I'll fight anyone who ever says anything bad about Barbie or Jeannie. But I bet they still remember how I blared music in the car to annoy them because I had to pick them up from gymnastics, or how I pinned Jeannie down because she was 12 years younger and tickled her till she begged for mercy. So, yeah, I can't wait to hear what these sisters have to say.
Well, Patty, you should try being one of 5 sisters like me. We're all really close. In fact, during the pandemic this last year, I sheltered in place with 2 of my sisters. And of them, it really was great. It was a Camelot year in some ways, but there are never enough books. We're always discussing books. And so in my whole family, when we were young, with 10 of us, I'm one of 10, as you know, Patty, we're always looking for something to read, and that's why libraries were important. But if only my mom had a subscription to Page One Books.
All of our moms.
Page One personally selects the books and sends it directly to your home every month based on your taste. And we would have been like running to the mailbox to get that mailman and to pick up the book to say, mine, mine, mine. So receiving a book each month is such a treat. And I can only imagine what the race to the mailman for a Page One book delivery would have been like for the Dolan sisters.
We can ask them.
Yeah. Well, in addition to their wildly successful podcast, together, the Satellite Sisters have written 2 books, Satellite Sisters, Uncommon Senses, and You're the Best, a celebration of friendship. And of course, Leanne is a novelist whose most recent book, The Sweeney Sisters, was one of our favorites of 2020.
But the real reason we're talking to the Satellite Sisters today is because we wanted to celebrate mothers and mothering. We're going to play a game that Mary Kay Andrews thinks she made up called Mother May I. Mother May I.
With a nod to Jocelyn Jackson.
I was just going to say, there's a book by that too.
We had Jocelyn on last month, and that the game is now giving me kind of murdery vibes, which I'm a little bit worried.
She would say murdery fun.
Murdery fun
Murdery fun.
vibes. So you guys tune in for the murdery fun. So the game Mary Kay Andrews made up is about our favorite fictional mothers, our most embarrassing mom moments, the worst fictional moms, things like that. But first, a word about another favorite mother and Friends in Fiction partner, Mama Geraldine's. You know what makes a great Mother's Day gift for yourself? Yep,
Cheese straws.
It's the country's favorite cheese straws. How did you guess? So that way, you are always prepared when your kids need a snack or when company drops by. Or, if you wanted to polish off the whole box by yourself, I don't really think that would be wrong, would it? I mean, I'm asking for a friend. I don't think that would be wrong, right?
It would not be wrong if it was Cinnamonnies.
Oh,
Oh, no,
yeah.
stop. I'm on a diet.
Okay, sorry.
No, you guys,
I love
mothers.
those.
We are all mothers. Mother's Day calories do not count, much
Okay.
like
That's
birthday
right.
calories. So to get your cheese straw or cookie fix, use code FAB5 at mamageraldines.com for your 20% discount.
Oh, and I have to tell you about a game I just made up like this morning.
She loves
To
her
make
baby.
things more complicated, we're going to do a secret word like they used to have. I think it was the Harpo Marx show, or Groucho Marx would have a secret
the
word.
Simon Rudolph, yeah.
Yeah, so there's a secret word during the show, and as you listen to it, we want you to post in comments what you think the secret word is. And at the end of the show, I just found an earring hanging off my necklace. That's normal.
It actually relates to the word.
That's
Mary Kay.
normal, right?
It actually
Anyway.
relates to our secret word.
Yes,
It does. Very good, Christine.
Speaking of,
totally. Okay, let's enough of this nonsensical nonsense. Let's bring the sisters on.
Yay.
I am going to ask you. There they are, Leanne. I'm going to ask you to do the intros.
Okay, I'm sorry there aren't cheese straws for all of us.
They're
We'll
great.
get you some.
That
They're
was a
there with
fantastic-
champagne. I'm surprised you don't see it.
I am having my friends in my Friends of Fiction wine glass.
Oh,
that I got.
good. Thank you.
We're so happy to be here. Thank you so much. Mother's Day is super special to Satellite Sisters. I mean, well, first of all, it's just a fantastic holiday. We get one day. Well,
Right. Right.
but our mom had a twin sister. She had 3 sisters total. She was very close to her sisters. And so we made a big deal of it on the show for 20 years because our mom and her sisters are really our inspiration for starting Satellite Sisters in the first place. They kind of taught us a great lesson about family and sisterhood. And that was absolutely our inspiration. So with that in mind, I seem nice, but now I'm going to introduce my sisters. We're one of eight kids. And so in a big family, you just go in age order. So there's no getting around it. Julie's the oldest sister. There's Julie. She
Hi,
is
Julie.
in Dallas,
Hi,
Texas.
Julie.
hi, Julie.
She has lived all over the world in exotic locales where she raised her children. Julie is a pioneer of helicopter parenting. So we're very proud of her. She's in the helicopter parenting Hall of Fame. And
Oh my gosh.
she has 2 boys and she has 5 beautiful grandchildren. And we love Julie because she's the classic big sister and she does everything proper and right and sends thank you notes and things like that.
Oh, wow.
And now the opposite of that is Liz. Liz is she's a middle sister. She's number 4 of 8. She's single. She lives in Santa Monica. Liz is our family's fun aunt. It's a good thing when Liz takes an interest in you because she delivers the fun factor to her nieces and nephews and the daughters and sons of her friends. She's also the proud paw parent of Hooper, who's a mutt, but he's delightful. And I live in Pasadena, California. I'm the mother of 2 college, or I guess they're in their 20s now, post-college age kids. I thought I wanted to be the cool mom until things got to middle school, and that was just so awful, and parenting got hard. And I'm like, okay, no more of this cool mom stuff. I am buckling down right now. So I also have a big German Shepherd. So that's the intro for the Satellite Sisters.
Hello, welcome.
Welcome,
Great
y'all.
to have you.
for having us.
Thank
So
you.
we're going to be talking about moms and aunts and families and celebrating it all. And I love that social media tag, mom life, hashtag mom life. As a mom, and believe it or not, a grandmother, I have been thinking about how my own mother's version of mom life shaped me. her being a mom, she wouldn't even know what a hashtag was. And I just spent 2 weeks, I'm still here with my daughter, who is a mother now, and her version of mom life, living on a tropical island. So there is no right or wrong way in any of our 3 ways of doing things, and yet they're so different. I was raised in the suburbs of Philadelphia with a preacher father and a strict religious upbringing. My mom was a kind of preacher's wife, stay-at-home mom. I spent most of my days and nights in a church. And then I raised my kids in Atlanta, Georgia, on 3 acres on the Chattahoochee River. And it wasn't until I was older that I realized that not everyone had a preacher's life, daughter kind of life, like people always in the house, people spending the night in the house, strangers living with you. And I did the opposite with my family. And now my daughter has her family on an island in the middle of the Pacific. So it's just really interesting to watch the progression of parenting. So I want y'all to talk to us about how your parenting and auntie styles have differed compared to your mom, or even if you've watched Liz, Julie, your kids probably are parents now, right? And so watching them be parents. So talk to us a little bit about that. You want to go first, Leanne?
Sure. I mean, our mom was getting her master's in nursing at Yale. And then she got and then I know Patty, she's a nurse, our mom, and so her sister. And as soon as she got engaged, that was over, but so then she raised 8 kids with sort of a military-like precision in terms of logistics. And I think, Mary Alice, I don't know what your family was like, but it's either chaos or it's organized.
It was mostly chaos.
Okay. We were the opposite. We had dinner together every night, in church, early on Sundays, make your bed every day or else you don't want to come home. So I think what I learned from her is just organization, timetable. Like I became her producer and there's no surprise because I was used to organizing things. But what I really appreciated about my mom was that she was always super supportive of our careers, which I saw of our careers and of her daughters-in-law careers. There was no judgments. Like we had kids, we were going to work, we were doing our thing. And that was incredibly important because that was a time when the mom wars were happening. And I had friends whose mothers or mothers-in-law were really critical of their trying to put their work-life balance together. And my mom knows never that. And I always appreciated that.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah. I think I'm going next. Our mom also had a great sense of adventure. Now she had the 8 kids. She had a station wagon. The other thing she had was a twin. She had a twin sister who had 9 children. So yes, you have that right. 2 twin moms, 2 station wagons, 17 kids, and she would just go. Okay, I mean, she took us out of school like John Glenn's going to be in a ticket tape parade. Okay, we were there. Okay, World's Fair. We had matching outfits. We were there. Broadway show. She takes out. Did that.
I love her.
They thought nothing of like packing a lunch, piling 7 or 8 kids in the car. Leanne didn't always make these trips because she was the youngest. We left her home. But my mom would pack a lunch, pile 7 or 8 kids in the car, drive an hour to some local ski area so we could all ski. So she just she didn't care about traffic. She didn't care about traffic. She didn't care about directions, weather, parking. She just had this great sense of fun, like be in the moment, do things. Things are happening. You need to experience it. And I think that's what gave me such a great sense of adventure. I have lived all over the world. I've gone to a lot of strange countries, North Korea, Uzbekistan. I've been to some places, but I think it's my mom in that station wagon with the kids. Like
I love it. I love it.
Going to see fireworks or whatever it was. That's what really inspired me.
Great.
Yep.
So I guess it's my turn now. I think, like my mom, I'm a planner. She was known to say, good planning makes for good fun. And because you do need, it has to have a certain military edge to it. But so when you're dealing with big numbers, right? So I really enjoyed in my adult life sort of being the catalyst for a lot of our family get-togethers. I'm single, but I like to sort of get people together, organize the summer family reunion in Bend, Oregon, where one of my brothers lives there full time and I live there part time. So family reunions in Bend are fun. Another Christmas holiday in Puerto Vallarta I organized, where everybody came in from all over, a cruise to the Galapagos. So
I want you to be my sister.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
I love
Be my
that.
aunt.
Yeah.
My aunt.
She's
But
good.
I also think it's because I'm not a parent that I enjoy gatherings where the kids can relax and kind of have their own experience.
Yes.
So I remember during that Puerto Vallarta vacation, we were at an all-inclusive resort. And when the kids figured out that they could order room service without their parents either knowing or paying for it, they were just beside themselves. They spent half their time in their rooms, not on the beach. Because the idea was like surprise at any hour of the day or night. Like, bring me a quesadilla right now.
The hotel lost money on this group.
Oh yeah, more group for sure. And when we went to the Galapagos, we were on a National Geographic ship, and the kids were running like an all-night card game in the bunk room. That's what's happening from there. And I know our mother, Edna Dolan, would not have approved. And maybe Leanne, you were their mother. Maybe you didn't approve either, but they were down there. They were having fun. So
Awesome.
It took a good plan for them to have good fun.
I love it.
Awesome.
Yeah. My mom had 5 kids in 7 years. And starting with my oldest sister, who was born when my mom was only 19.
Wow.
Now, my mom always worked outside the home, which I hated as a kid. Every other kids' moms, it was the 60s. Nobody else's mother was working, which I hated. And I always swore that I would one day be the stay-at-home mom, running carpool and taking kids on the field trips to the roller rink, which, by the way, the roller rink in St. Pete, Florida was called Gay Blades. That's all you need to know. And then, then I realized I wanted to have a career as a writer. Now, my mom was funny and tough, and she did have a bit of a potty mouth. I think I've inherited some of that.
No.
My kids know that I will absolutely swing an F-bomb, and I will dog cuss them if they get out of line.
Awesome.
And I think there are differences too. I'm more sentimental than my mother had no room for sentiment, very little.
Uh-huh.
And I'm probably more I was never a helicopter mom, but I'm more hands-on than she was because I only had 2 kids and they were 4 years apart. She had 5 in rapid succession. How about
That's
you,
a
Ma'am?
lot.
You were from a big family.
I am. I know big families. As I said, I'm one of 10 children. So Catholic. So I guess my parents didn't have a lot of rhythm, which is kind of funny because my mother was a ballerina. And even funnier is my father was a pediatrician. So everyone used to make the joke, he started his own practice. And the fact but my mother had cesareans. And so those were very dangerous back in the day. And so she was always put to bed before the births and after the births because, they didn't have zippers. So she had to have surgery. Mm. And even though we had help, my mom always had lots of help. As an older daughter, responsibility for the kids a lot of the time fell to us. We were the ones who put the kids to bed or for naps. And I think as far as mother, she's a great mom, but I think she was a little overwhelmed. Yeah. Really just between being in bed and always having babies. So we had to go to church because my father made sure that was going to happen.
Yeah,
but other than that, we didn't go out much. There was just too many of us. And we were kind of left to our own devices for entertainment. And so I don't know if it was nature or nurture, whether we're born with it or it was just that we were alone a lot. But we were a creative bunch. And so when we were young, I had the best time. We wrote plays and musicals and we made costumes. Some of my sisters are artists and they would create scenery. And the little kids we put in costumes wouldn't know what they were doing. They had a part to play. But we were always playing make-believe. And that was a sense of joy because we had each other. And we always knew Mom loved us. That was the main thing. She may not have been very organized, but she loved us. So fast forward when I was a mom, I have 3 kids. And we had this big old sheep farm in Vermont. And we brought my kids there every summer, just me. My husband was at the NIH working. And we were alone. And I used to open the doors and let the kids run out. Like, it's a miracle they weren't eaten by bears or got lost in the mountains. But we just let them out, and rang the bell at night for dinner. You remember those days? And I think what I wanted for them was actually what I got from my mom, was that we had to be independent, we had to be bored, and we learned to explore. Just get out there and explore. And I think the other thing, the end of the day, I might not have been a helicopter mother myself, and I was working, but I think my kids know I love them. And that's what's most important.
Yes, for sure. For sure. I'm sort of like the opposite of Mary Alice because I'm an only child, not one of 10.
My dream.
Yeah.
My dream.
It's pretty great. But I always laugh because I think my mom was one of those people that was born to have like 10 children and she just couldn't. Like, she had me and that was it. But she's one of those people that makes parenting just look like it's really easy, and she's super organized. Everything's always really clean. And she always had like 12 of my friends over at all times. And there was always food and like the big candy bowl. And she always drove carpool and she never missed a tennis match. And she was just like the best mom. Like, she just really was. She was, and she still is. And it was funny though, because I always used to say, like, when I grow up, I'm going to be a mom just like you, and I'm going to stay home with my kids. And she would say, that's great if you want to do that, but I don't think that's your personality. And I think it's so funny in retrospect that she could recognize that in me. Like, even when I was a child, that, I was going to want to work, and I was going to, need something sort of outside of that. And I think that's pretty cool. But she influenced my parenting a lot, for sure. I am not organized like she is. I mean, I am about some things, like work-wise and things like that, but like not my house. I mean, you can walk in her house at any time and it is spotless and like ready for a party. She hosts every family event. I host all the family events now, but it's like an effort for me. There's a lot of like panicking at the last minute. And, but I think that's one of the things I love about being a writer. And like, I can be at field day and I can be class mom and, I can do all those things, but still have this really great thing that I love. So, she was definitely an amazing influence on me. And I hope Will looks back and thinks that I was a good mom, like I think my mom was.
I know he will. So I'm the oldest of 3, and my mom, who I am lucky to still live only 20 minutes away from, which is great. It's so nice to have her close by. But she ran a household that was just full of love and support. So our house was always messy. There was always a lot of noise, not least of all because my brother, my sister, and I all played the drums. Can you imagine? Like, I don't know what my mom did in a previous life to have deserved that. We literally had a drum set in our living room, and we were all terrible and really loud. Oh, it was awful. Mystica, yes, I was Mystica the drummer, yes. But in amongst all that chaos, we knew that our mom always had our backs. That was something that was really special and something that I think I always took for granted because, it's just always the way that it was. I think when you're a kid, you take those things for granted. But, it's something I hope I've carried into my own parenting too. So I want to be that mom who always advocates for her son, but who also teaches him to advocate for himself, to stand up for himself, and to believe in himself too, because those were the kind of lessons I got. So I have unfortunately inherited the messy house gene, which I beat myself up about way too often. I really do have a messy house. But, I try to remind myself more often these days that it's okay not to be perfect. And that even if the floors need scrubbing and the beds aren't always made, because they're usually not always made, I'm doing my best. And I'm doing my best to create a household that's full of love and full of support like my own mom did. So, it's kind of a constant struggle, but that's where I am.
It sounds like we've kind of had some storybook moms or, maybe not so storybook. Moms in popular culture have this rap as being cardboard saints. And I'm wondering, my mind always goes there. What's the worst fictional mom that you all have ever encountered? Or for the mothers amongst us, created. And I have to say right off the bat, no mommy dearest Joan Crawford answers. That will disqualify you because that's just too easy. Anybody want to jump in?
I'll jump in because I really struggled with the mother in the Dutch house. And I believe you had Ann Patchett on it. Of course, she's a wonderful writer, but that mother just abandoned her children. And then they spent the whole book talking about the mother that abandoned their children.
Yeah.
It's just making me crazy. I just wanted to throw the book across. They spent a lot of time talking about that mom. So I loved the book, but it just, that mom sticks with me. With me.
Okay, I'll jump in with the bad mom I love, and that's Bernadette from Where'd You Go, Bernadette?
Oh my God, she's wonderful.
So good.
I mean, she's just the best bad mom ever. And sorry, Leanne, she does kind of abandon her family at one point, but it's only temporary, and it's in the spirit of great adventure. So I love Bernadette.
I love that.
Okay.
I loved that.
Okay.
Good. For me, I just read Hamnet and Hamlet together.
Oh, wow.
And, oh my gosh. Hamlet's mother. Wow. Whoa. Was she, to read her now as a mother and her grandmother, she was so selfish, so terrible, so despicable. Yeah. No, she's bad. Okay. So it's a good combo together too.
It's so funny how the bad moms stick in the craw, right? Like you can't keep thinking about them.
Yes.
I am in the middle of reading We Begin at the End right now. And that mom is so desperately awful. And yet, like there's this great empathy because you find out why. So you're like, I can't believe she did that. Oh, can somebody save her? Oh, I can't believe she did that. Oh, could somebody save her? So that's the worst mom I've read about in a while.
I was thinking about this. Of course, I everybody here, all the ladies know, I do my best thinking in the shower. And I was thinking about this morning and I went, the worst mother is the mother from Eleanor Oliphant.
Yes.
I read that book. Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh. So bad.
The way she damaged her daughter and literally haunted her. That's a bad mom right there.
No, the worst mother, I'll tell you, the worst mother or stepmother, I'm sorry, Hansel and Gretel. That's the worst.
That's a pretty bad one.
She sent him out to the woods with just a little piece of bread and said, go fend for yourself. I mean, it doesn't get worse than that.
That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. I wrote a pretty terrible mother in my first book, Dear Carolina. And I remember my mom being like, I can't believe you did that. Everyone is going to think that she's me. And I was like, no one is going to think that. And like the very first book club that I did, I was, speaking and we were at this lovely luncheon and somebody raised their hand and was like, is the mother in the book based on your mother? And I was like, I am so glad that she is not here right now. She was so mad.
Awful.
Okay, so the worst, most humiliating, embarrassing thing your mom ever did to you or that you did to your kids. For example, mine was when I forgot to pick up my child from elementary school, and not just my child, but the whole carpool. And I completely blame the book I was working on, but the shame of that still lingers. And Rusk, my youngest, still brings it up. Remember when you left? So I'm sure I embarrass them all the time, but that one sticks in my head. How about y'all?
Well, when Katie was at St. Pius High School in Atlanta, for some reason, I got asked to give a talk to and this was really their name, the Pious Mothers Club, which in itself was completely hysterical. So it just happened that the day of the event, I happened to have a nun's habit lying around my house. And as one does have a nun's habit, so I decided to wear it to school to give the talk, and then later for the after-school carpool. Yeah, I did that.
Hilarious.
Okay. I feel better about mine then. Now mine seems small compared to that. But I had an incident at the DMV. with my sons, and I don't want to go into a lot of details because it wasn't pretty, but both my boys had a lot of overconfidence going into their driving tests, the written and the driving tests.
yes.
So I spent the better part of 3 years at the DMV taking them repeatedly back to 10, failed the past tests they failed. And when my son Colin for the fifth, he's in the next room 5 times. I lost it. I was like, how can you keep failing? And how bad a driver is it? I just couldn't believe it. So that was it.
Way to go, supportive mother.
Yeah.
Well, for years on Satellite Sisters, we ran a most embarrassing mothering moments contest. And oh my God, it was our favorite part of the year because things that happened, I mean, the crazy, wild things were all bad, but some of the funniest ones were always just the simple things. So the 2 winners I remember most, first was the mom who got a call from school because what she thought was a frozen juice box in her child's lunchbox was actually a frozen margarita.
Awesome.
Oh, I could have done that.
They weren't too keen on that. They weren't too keen on that in the office. But then the one who won one year was a mom who she had just had a new baby, but she was in a grocery store with her second grader, and they ran into the second grader's teacher. And so they're talking to the teacher, and the child is proud. Her mom's talking to her teacher. And then the teacher asked the mom, "What's the new baby's name?" And the mother could not remember at all what the new baby's name was. She just had,
But we can all feel that happening.
Amazing.
That could happen to anything. So I'm feeling better about my worst moment, which was with my son who was applying to college, high school senior. And at one point I turned and said to him, and I was wagging a finger, I said, "You go in that bedroom and you find a personal hero and don't come out until you have."
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Oh yeah.
So my son is only 5, so there's still plenty of time to screw things up for him. I don't think I've done anything major yet. So I will tell you one of the times my mother embarrassed me, which is when I broke up with my very first boyfriend my freshman year of high school because he had suddenly started giving me the silent treatment for no apparent reason. My mom invited him. It was so weird. My mom invited him over to dinner as a surprise because she was afraid that I was treating people like they were disposable and she was trying to teach me a life lesson. So I was in fact not treating someone like he was disposable. I was standing up for myself. It was all kinds of humiliating, but at least her heart was in the right place. And to this day, I'm still friends with him. He's a good guy. We were just stupid kids, right? But he still talks about my mother's lasagna on that ill-fated, embarrassing dinner.
That's pretty epic. I really like that.
Your mom is a baller, man.
Yeah. Well,
awesome.
My son is only 9, but I'm plenty embarrassing already. And I think most recently for Read Across America Week, because I'm an author, I get to come in and read to the class. So I dressed up like little Cindy Lou Who, but not like old school little Cindy Lou Who, like the new one that has the hair that goes like this. And I bought the wig is cannot even imagine how good it is. I mean, it's this tall and this big. I was driving to school and people were looking at me but I thought, well, no one's going to know who I am. I showed up in this wig and a pink nightgown, at school, and I go in the classroom and everyone's like, little Cindy Lou Who. And they were impressed, but he was not impressed. I mean, I might wear it to his first day of high school just to reminisce. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
I can rent
That's a
that
solid
I can rent that.
foundation. Yeah, I could rent that nun's costume for you and have it shipped to you.
I was actually a pregnant nun for Halloween one year. So that's how I embarrassed my mom.
Awesome.
Yeah.
good work.
Awesome.
My baby is a boy, Zach, and just let me precede the story by saying he used to decide to go home from school, without telling anybody. He'd walk out of class. So I'm in my office at home. The kids are in school, right? And I'm writing, and I had read somewhere that if ever you hear an intruder, you get out of the house right away. So I'm writing and I'm typing, and I hear the front door open.
Hilarious.
And I'm like, ooh. And I hear, and I wait, and I think, oh, it's my imagination. And I'm typing, and I hear, you can't mistake the sound of a drawer opening upstairs. So I tiptoe out of the house, right? Because I don't want to get in the house with an intruder. And I run to my neighbor, and I say, can I call your phone? We've got to call the police. So we do. I call the police, and they come up very quietly, and they draw out their guns. And I said, there's somebody in the house. And they went in, and meanwhile, little crowds gathering in the bottom of the driveway.
Oh my gosh!
And the policeman comes out very strict, and he goes, excuse me, ma'am. Do you know anybody by the name of Zach?
No.
Never heard of him.
I have never heard of him. Do not know
Well, my
him.
son later told me he was maybe in second grade, right? And he said the policeman came into his room with his gun out. And he never left school again.
Well, that'll do it.
That'll teach a lesson right there. That's a good
I
one.
called the police on my son.
Oh my God. Well, see, this is a great segue into the next question, which is, what is your proudest accomplishment as a mother? Because I feel like, Mary Alice, with that life lesson, that might be your most embarrassing and your proudest moment as a mother.
There you go.
So the question is, what's your proudest accomplishment as a mom, a grandmother, an aunt, a surrogate mom, anything where you've provided guidance, right, for the next generation? So for me, it's that this year I did my best, which is all we can do, right? It was a tough year. And my husband and I made a lot of decisions that'll impact our son for a long time to come. Like, we decided not to send him to school. And I know not all of the decisions we made were right. I know some of them were wrong. But I'm proud that I did my best and I led with my heart, which I think is all we can do as mothers and as human beings. So that's what I'm proud of this year. So how about you, Leanne?
Wow, I feel pretty trivial now because you did have a really hard year, and you're my hero. I am short, and I am proud that my sons are tall, and that really that's a big
big one. That's a really good one. You grew them that way. You did that.
Yep.
Okay, I think I'm up next. I'm very proud of the fact that some of the details that I had as Aunt Liz with like Julie's boys, Nick and Will, or Leon's boys, Brooks and Colin, some of the things that happened on those outings have remained forever in the vault. I did not enjoy swearing them to secrecy, but I knew it was best for family unity. So I'm very proud.
Oh, that's so great. That's great.
Okay, that's good. For me, I am most proud of my daughter-in-laws. Okay, and I'm most proud of them because they are both amazing women. And they both love my sons, and they're wonderful mothers. So when I think about being proud, that's what gives me some satisfaction. Yeah.
I think for me, it goes back to what I was talking about, that being up at the farm and teaching the kids to explore the world, to be confident and go out there. And I think they did. And I think that's what I'm most proud of.
I'm proud that there are no felony convictions in my family.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big deal.
That's a big one. I'm proud that they all still speak to me every day.
That's a good one.
Honestly, really.
They're grown-ups and they still talk to me. So, yeah.
I think mine was, I didn't think of it till right now, but when Will was in the first grade and I went in for like his first, like really big parent-teacher conference, and he's just really his own person. And I just really like that. And I sat down at the desk and the teacher kind of went like this across the desk. And she looked at me and she said, what can I say? She said, I've got a classroom of 20 children and then Will, who I could share a sarcastic comment with. I just loved that. And I was like, yeah, that's him. He's just like, he's 35, but he's only 6. Like, I don't know. That's awesome. So my question is, who is your favorite mom from fiction or even television or movies? Maybe the mom that you wish you'd been born to, and why?
Okay, I'll jump in. I mean, I don't know why. I just thought it was really romantic to live in Africa on safari. Because when I was growing up, Born Free and Daktari were really big. And that mom in Daktari was like riding that lion in the opening sequence. I was like, I wish I had been born to a British mother who rode a lion. So I would say that. It's the opposite of my upbringing, but two memorable moms.
Right. I picked a stepmom, not a mom. And I just honestly don't know how you could score any better than Maria from The Sound of Music. I mean,
Winner.
It was fun. She bucked the system. She lightened up your dad, right? Really fixed it. She had a great singing voice, and she helped you escape from the Nazis.
I was going to say, she got that.
Hey, don't forget those matching curtains, those matching outfits. She
Right.
had from the curtains.
Most of all, she had Mary Kay's nun costume.
Right.
I really wish that we could sing a little medley from that movie right now.
I know.
Like, how do you
I
solve a problem like Maria?
Man.
Wouldn't you love your stepmom to have her own theme song, which is how do you solve a problem like Maria? That's a good one.
Absolutely.
Or she stands at the top of a mountain with her arms out and just swings around in circles.
Yes.
Icon moment.
We can all do it.
Icon moment.
Well, speaking of theme songs, how about the Patty Duke show?
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
Oh,
That was a powerful theme song. I love the mom in that show. I think she just had a sweet life. She had those, I don't know, just the two girls. It seemed so simple. You're coming from a big family. She had that big staircase, a nice husband. She seemed to have it all together. I like that. That's it. Not much more.
Hilarious.
And great theme song. Yeah.
I used to fantasize that I could live with the Ingalls family.
Oh.
Now I realize that would have
That would've
literally been the absolute worst dream come true, as Garth Brooks sings about, unanswered prayers, because who wants to live on the prairie? Not me. But I just used to think they were like, oh, Pa, he's so nice and Mom. Now I'm like, oh,
and never argue.
awful.
No raised voices.
I just,
so awful.
I remember all of a sudden, this movie, Mother, and Doris Day in Please Don't Eat the Daisies.
Oh, yeah.
She's married to David Niven, first of all, who, was kind of cool. He had an English accent.
That's a good one.
She had all these kids, but she had help, Nora, who the Irish, nanny person.
Yes.
She moves out to the country and she writes a musical. She produces it, she acts in it, and she stars in it, and she sings a song called Please Don't Eat the Daisies.
Yeah.
And she's, she's got this big old house she redoes because, I love redoing old houses. So after I thought about it again in the shower today, I should just stay in the shower.
Don't leave the shower.
To shower all day. You need to get a bigger hot water heater.
Yeah.
Who else has got?
I just want to say I changed my answer because when you're talking about the 1950s, that mother, the 1950s mother with the apron and the perfect hair and the pearls, Julie Cleaver. That was so far from what I lived in that I used to I used to watch that and go, wow. You come home from school, hey Beaver, how was your day? Would you like a cookie?
See, that was just normal for me. I was like, yeah, that's what a mom is.
No, that was not my mom's normal. My mom would have, flicked some cigarette ash on my homework.
I had to find my mom.
Okay, so
He's coming out without these moms.
I know.
Right?
When are the memoirs coming out? I want to read Mary Alice's memoir.
You know my memoir.
Yeah, I have to remind everybody that, every week and even on the Sunday bonuses, we have an indie bookstore that we ask everybody to support. And today, for our Mother's Day show, the independent bookseller is Foxtail Books. So go to their website and order all of our books because that's a great Mother's Day present for us.
Yeah.
For us, right? And now we're going to, are we going to show our great, we're going to take a
Well, and
stroll
Lean's
down.
paperback will be there. Lean's
Lean's
paperback.
paperback and
Yeah.
Mary Kay's brand new book and Mary Alice's book coming out in just a couple days. Absolutely.
Yeah, and
So
Patty's
much-
book is
so
there,
much
and
good
Christy's
stuff,
book is
yeah.
also there. So,
And mine will
are we
eventually join in.
yeah, we're going to have a stroll down memory lane with the photos. Where'd that go?
Oh.
We sent in some. We thought they were awesome photos.
There's something.
We'll try and
Oh,
describe it.
there's
Kristen looks exactly the
Wait, go back.
same.
Who's the first one?
Kristen. There's
Oh.
Christy.
Oh,
So young. Oh, that's us.
There's the Dolan
awesome.
family.
Oh,
the more
that's
Dolans with your
adorable.
mom.
Alice.
Yay!
Oh,
Mary
Alice.
Alice.
Megan, our managing producer.
I love
There's
it.
Megan, her
Mama.
mom.
There's my mom and I, which my mom has something on her face.
Oh my
I
goodness.
love that.
Mary Kay. That's me in the 80s.
Patty.
Yeah, there's
Oh, my
Patty.
goodness.
Now today.
Look
That's
at
Sean.
one.
Oh,
That's
Sean.
Sean.
That's great.
That was
That's
Camel
awesome.
guy.
And I
Okay,
was
ladies.
wearing
love
navy
that.
and white stripes in that picture, and I am now. Like I might have like a theme.
Yeah. You
Nice.
just never
And your
change.
bags are the same that you can get for pre-ordering.
Yeah. Oh, good. Very
Your
good.
bags,
Okay.
Christy.
Yeah.
My bags?
Yeah, they're striped like
my
your shirt.
stripes. My navy and
Yes.
white stripes.
Yeah, I see a theme.
Weird.
Yeah. Okay, ladies, I was going to ask everybody to tell us all about your idea of the perfect day or the perfect Mother's Day. But I have to say that after spending it with my adoring children and grandchildren, you know, cosseting and spoiling, even with that, with them cosseting and spoiling me, which they don't do, and feeding me, my idea of the perfect day is kind of one like today, where we do get the cosseting and the feeding and the corny cards and all that, but we also get to spend time with all of you, our friends and fiction family. So I'm going to let everybody say good night.
Happy
and happy
Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day,
Happy Mother's
everybody.
Day.
Thanks, Dolan sisters. Y'all are
And
awesome.
don't forget in the comments, put your guess about what the secret word is. It's themed to this Mother's Day show and all the drama and trauma we've shared with you. And the first person who guesses what the secret word is, Leanne's going to send a copy of the Sweeney Sisters. So
Which I loved. If you haven't read that
Great.
book,
Did a great
you
job.
have to read that book.
Thank you.
All right,
Bye.
ladies.
Thank you for tuning in. Join us every week on Facebook or YouTube, where our live show airs every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And please subscribe to our podcast and follow us on Instagram. We're so glad you're here. Good night.